What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're here to talk about the brand new arena that has debuted for the month of October, being against the Arena Mihawk. This unit is actually relatively difficult. I think this is a pretty tricky Coliseum, or arena should I say. Specifically, if you have the new Red Recruit characters, obviously it does make things a little bit easier. But I feel like this time around, for sure, like the new Red Recruits, like just straight up dominate this arena. Even if you don't have like the legend yourself, you can hybrid up with a lot of other characters and get your way through this content. So before we get into the actual breakdown of the content itself, with 4 different teams, technically 5, but one is kind of a variation of the same team, but you guys will see it anyway in this video. Let's go ahead and break down what the brand new Arena Mihawk actually does. So Arena Mihawk is an int slasher cerebral captain effect, doesn't really matter, but the special ability is pretty interesting. It does a 10% health cut. It also will reduce all enemies' blue shield defense up and resilience by 5 turns, and it gives you a 3 times chain lock for 1 turn. However, if you go ahead and have dealt 5 million damage in the previous turn before you launch the special, it gives this character an additional 9 turns of cooldown once the special is launched. So that's pretty awesome. I think he completely maxes out at a 12-turn cooldown, meaning that he goes down to a 3-turn cooldown after you use his special, and you've done at least 5 million in the previous turn. It's pretty interesting because you're able to basically get his special to launch multiple times per quest, so long as you're doing a lot of damage towards the enemy. And he does have a really cool crewmate effect that says he reduces his cooldown by 1 turn every time another int character uses their special. So specifically on an int team, you're able to launch his special multiple times, meaning you can get multiple health cuts, or you can get multiple turns of a 3 times chain lock on different fights. So it's actually a pretty interesting special overall. Mihawk also has a pretty interesting support which attaches to Zoro or Shanks, and it says if they go ahead and use a special that will boost your attack or boost your slot effects, it reduces resilience by 2 turns. And this can be put on a lot of Zoro and Shanks characters. I mean, V2 Shanks, the versus Shanks obviously works well, but also a lot of the Zoros are attack or orb boosters, so that's great. You can have it on those types of characters just to reduce resilience whenever you're going to be having to deal with that, right? So that's a pretty cool effect that he has, although removing resilience isn't always the most common thing ever, but you know, there's going to be niche circumstances where this is going to be very, very useful. But there we go, guys. That is the breakdown of the latest arena character. Now let's go ahead and jump into the content with a bunch of different teams against this content. Alright, so jumping into this, obviously got to give a huge shout out to my girl Karissa, who helped me build all of these teams you guys will see in this video today, and they all worked fantastically, okay? So here we have the Akainu. Now, unfortunately, we don't really have an effective way on this particular team for getting through the Moria stage. However, but once you get through this Moria stage, which you are able to get through relatively easily with Akainu, because the burn does go through those defensive effects, which is really good. But once you get to the stage of Dofi and Mihawk progressively, it does get considerably easier. You see these Dofi, he binds and he despairs you as well. He gives you attack down, and of course bind, despair, and attack down. Ambush Linlin removes all of those debuffs. So Ambush Linlin is going to be one of those really, really good units for this particular piece of content. And luckily, because Akainu does have barrier penetration, we are able just to rely on his barrier penetration and the amount of damage that he has in order to actually kill Doflamingo here. You can get significantly more damage if you do actually get his versus effect to activate here on stage 4 as well, but it's not needed at all as long as you attack with your combo hits, allowing you to activate the Linlin attack boost. With the barrier penetration, the chain lock, and the orb boost that Akainu gives, you're going to be doing enough damage to kill Dofi, no problems. And then on the final stage against Mihawk with 60 million HP, to remove all those nasty defensive effects, it is kind of difficult. So we are going to be stalling 1 turn. We have enough HP to stall that, which is great. And because we stall, the enemy is going to be inflicted with that burn. Then you can activate the conditional boost of the Akainu, but the thing is, you're not allowed to reduce the enemy's defense, and you're not allowed to activate a chain locking effect. That will cause Mihawk to react and do very bad things. So in order to get around that, because obviously Akainu is a chain locker with this special, so we can't activate Akainu's special. The way we get around that is that we use the support of V1 Zoro attached to Mihawk and Perona, which, because it's a support effect giving us a chain lock, the enemy cannot react to it. So that means that we are able to use the Akainu special following that to ensure that we actually can use the Akainu special to get the orb boost that we really want to get. And then of course, with the support of Onami attached to Sanji and Judge, not only do they give us an attack boost, but it also reduces the enemy's defense to 0 without having to use a special, so that Mihawk cannot react to it. So a pretty effective team for getting through this content. Moving on to the secondary team with V3 Boa Hancock. Once again, you see the return of Mihawk and Perona with the support of V1 Zoro, just a grant, a chain lock, which is really nice. We have the support of V2 Lucci attached to Usohachi to give us a color affinity boost on the final stage. We also have the Robin special once again, which is able to remove a lot of those nasty defensive effects. But with the combination of Usohachi special and the Robin special, we can remove all of the defensive effects on the final stage. So that's very, very nice. Unfortunately, once again, we don't really have an effective way to get around the Moria stage, but luckily Boa has very good healing capabilities, so you don't really have to worry about that. But of course, Chopper removes all of those nasty debuffs here on stage 4 versus Dofi, and the super type of this Boa is like one of the most broken super types in the game to generate a guaranteed full board of Psy slots and giving your Psy characters a 2.5 times attack boost. Also remember that Boa Hancock does have barrier penetration, meaning you can attack with the Boa Hancock on 3 and 4, and then your last 2 Psy characters can do the additional damage through to Dofi. So very nice combination of characters here. And then on the final stage, as we said, we can get the conditional boost from Mihawk and Perona, as well as that chain lock. We can also remove all the defensive effects with the Robin and the Usohachi. We also have the support of Flampe attached to Robin, which I believe will give us an orb boosting effect to our Psy characters. But we also have the super type of the other Boa to give us, again, that 2.5 times attack boost. So we have so much damage here, and we're able to get through the Mihawk with no troubles whatsoever. This time we see the appearance of Final Tap Law. Now remember, Final Tap Law is a captain for Dex characters, Slasher characters, and Cerebral characters. So there's a lot of available units you can use with this guy. And we are using the friend captain of Versus Shanks. Versus Shanks is so good as a friend captain for this content. His Versus effect is incredibly broken in tandem with his special, of course. But what you are mainly supposed to do is that you activate the Versus effect of Shanks and the special ability of Shanks on stage 4, where you see the Doflamingo. Now what that will actually do is that after you actually move on to the next room, the enemy's defense is going to be set to 0 due to the special ability of Shanks, and Shanks' Versus ability will enable you to get a 3-turn conditional boost against defense down characters. So you're basically guaranteed to get a defense down conditional on both stage 4 and on stage 5. And then, of course, we have the Komurasaki Coliseum unit, who's great for that Moria stage to remove those defensive effects. But remember, that character has double special activation, so we can use it once again on the final boss stage to help us get around those defensive effects again. So with Komurasaki and the Rare Recruit Rayleigh, we can actually get around the Rainbow Shield and the Threshold, and because the Blue Shield will be removed, essentially removed, because of the special ability of Shanks, we don't even have to worry about the enemy's regular defense up. We've got Law for his amazing attack boost, 2.75 times attack, and the 1.5 times increased damage taken, color affinity from Rayleigh, orb boost from the free-to-play Zoro character. Just all in all, a very incredible team that has a lot of damage potential. And of course the super type special of Law that is able to change the block slots that we receive into matching without having to bring another dedicated character to change those slots into matching for our crew. So a very, very powerful team. Now, the final two teams in this video are both going to be using Roger as a captain, but they have varying units. So with this team here, we are running none of the new batch characters, but we do have two limited rare recruit characters in Bello Betty and also Alvida. So what Bello Betty does, who's really good on this Dofi stage, is that it removes 5 turns of bind and 5 turns of attack down. And because Roger already resists despair with his captain effect, we legit don't have to worry about that at all, so that's a huge benefit to us. And then of course the Roger super type and the special gives us very good damage output against Dofi. And then on the final stage, once again, we do have to stall one turn so that we can actually get rid of those really nasty defensive effects on Mihawk. But we're able to use the specials here of our characters to get an orb boost with Odin, an attack boost with Roger. We have the color affinity boost with the Alvida, and of course the utility with Robin. So that is going to give us enough damage to get through the final stage. And having, you know, the combination of Roger and Odin to get a full board of Wano slots, a 2.5 attack, and a 3 times attack boost, I mean, that just in general is going to give you a lot of damage output by itself. But of course, with tandem of the Alvida character to give us I think it's a 2.25 times color affinity to free spirit characters, that's obviously going to be a huge increase to our damage that we can do towards Mihawk. And then the final team of this video, as I said, is also going to be a Roger team. However, we're using all the new characters that are debuted in the latest Sugo Fest batch, with a friend captain versus Shanks, making that defensive effect absolutely nullified on the final stage, but also using the rare recruits of Vista, the Beckman, and the Rockstar, as well as the free-to-play Blackbeard. We're able to get around these effects. And because Vista does have double special activation, we can use Vista on stage 3 versus Moria, and we can also use Vista on the final stage. So Vista plus Blackbeard gets rid of the defense damage reduction as well as the threshold, but then remember the blue shield defense is removed via the versus effect of Shanks. So once again, as we said, we use the versus effect of Shanks and the special of Shanks here on stage 4, and we also use the ability of Rockstar and also the ability of Beckman, which is able to give us a full board of slots basically. It also gets rid of the bind, gets rid of the despair, gets rid of the attack down, so the combination of Beckman and Rockstar is really nice here. And then of course the special and versus effect of Shanks gives us that huge damage potential. And then on the final stage we can use Vista and the Blackbeard to remove the defensive effects. Vista also provides a 1.75 times orb boost when you use his special. Roger provides the 3 times attack boost, and we also have the support of Raid Zoro to give our slashers a 1.3 color affinity boost, meaning that Roger himself and versus Shanks is going to have just a slight increase to their damage potential for this final boss fight. And of course Roger's super type is going to be able to be procced via the versus Shanks friend captain, which is pretty good. So that is going to end this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.